Hi there. My name's Jacob. I work at a call center, and I have a girlfriend named Bree who never fails to tell me I'm an underachiever. Bree was my complete opposite. Perhaps that's why I fell for her. I was never very bright. I was always a bit slow and did badly at school. The other kids looked down on me for it. Bree especially. She was at the top of the class every year, and she passed judgment on me our first day of school when the teacher called on me to read a passage of a book. In a hole in the ground, there lived... Oh, my actual God, if he keeps reading this way, we'll be all living on the moon before he finishes the first line. Let me do it. Bree was the teacher's pet, so she basically got away with whatever she wanted. One time, she even got me suspended. Just because. Bree and her friends were horsing around, and one of them dared her to pull down the fire alarm lever. Bree did it, and in the aftermath, she and her group of friends told everyone it was me. It was the teacher's pet's words against mine. And guess who lost? My mom was tough, but she also didn't have time to fight my battles for me. She was already busy raising 6 children on her own and working to feed us all. She did give me great advice on how to make school life pass by. She told me to find a passion and devote everything I had to it. And it worked. I found my passion during pottery class. Turned out, I was really good at it. My classmates actually acknowledged my talent in it. And whenever I'd make something, they'd tell me it was pretty cool. And by extension, a few of them started to think I was cool. I went on PicPoc and started posting videos of my favorite pieces. I posted clips of how I made them. Those got a lot of attention, and gaining lots of views and followers only enhanced my reputation. But there was one person who despised my rise in popularity. Bree. One morning, I walked into the pottery warehouse behind our classroom to find all my work destroyed. Bree didn't hide the fact that it was her either. She even walked into the classroom and shattered one of my vases in front of everyone. There, that's what you deserve. To have your dreams shattered. You will never be successful. You're too dumb. And you should know that as early as now. Funnily enough, Bree's mission to assassinate my reputation backfired. Nobody, not even one boy, asked her to the dance. News at the school spread about how nasty she was, and not one person wanted to be around her anymore. I knew she despised me, but I wanted to show her kindness. I thought maybe it would change her perspective. Bree had no choice but to accept my gesture. After all, she didn't want to miss out and feel left out by not going. And even though her motivations were selfish at first, the night ended up being pretty fun. We danced and we laughed, and Bree turned out to be really good company. And I guess she thought the same of me, because a week later, we were dating. Bree regained her popularity thanks to her being seen with me. One night, all the good times came to an end. I was working as a babysitter to help me save up for college. That night, I hit the jackpot. I had to watch a baby boy and his already teenager sister. They were paying me $100 for the night. They had a pool, a gaming room, and they even let me borrow their Getflix password. Easiest gig I ever landed! Until the teenage daughter came into the room. It was Bree. She started freaking out. You? You never told me you worked as a babysitter? I'm saving up for my tuition. What? Your parents can't afford to pay? I have a single mom and she's raising 6 kids on her own. I told you all this, but I guess you weren't listening. Bree, honey, you never told us you knew this boy. Yeah, I wish you would have introduced us to your boyfriend. He seems like a nice kid. Boyfriend? Not from tonight, he's not. I am a princess, and I will not associate with dumb, poor losers like that. He's probably only after our money. Get out of my house! Get out! I was still in shock when I walked home. I could never understand how Bree could flip the switch just like that. But all my problems seemed insignificant when I saw a group of homeless women shivering in the autumn chill while I was passing by the park. Please, spare us some change. Even $1 will do. I'm so hungry. My heart broke for them, and I reached into my pockets, ready to give them everything I had on me. But I had nothing to give. Desperate to help them, I took them all home, where my mother yelled at me for doing so. I have 6 hungry mouths to feed myself, and here you are bringing home 3 strays. But they're hungry, and they're so cold out there. Look at them! Rose is literally sick from the cold. Of course you already know their names. We'll help around the house. Please don't throw us out. We can clean and cook. And I'll do the laundry. Whatever. I'm telling you, Jacob, you're the one who took them in. You better be the one taking care of them and not me. I worked thrice as hard. I got 2 other part-time jobs, and I made sure I bought the girls food. But it wasn't too bad having them around. Even Mom warmed up to them. Thanks to the girls, she barely had any work to do at home. They made the house even cleaner than any of us had seen it before, and Rose's cooking was out of this world. When they decided they could trust us, the girls confessed something to me. That was when our lives changed. Rose, Trish, and Eva were the daughters of an influential family from abroad. Trying to get money from their families, a gang captured them and held them for an entire week. The gang was transporting them when they escaped and stowed away on a random ship. That ship brought them to our country, and ever since then, they lived on the streets because nobody was willing to help them. Until I did. We contacted the girl's father, and he sent a private jet immediately. The girls took me to him, and he rewarded me handsomely. He gave me a suitcase filled with cash, bought me a house in their town and a studio that I could use to make my beloved pottery. With his help, I became a famous potter in their country. My studio did incredibly well. Trish, Eva, and Rose fell in love with me, and we got married. They even flew Mom and my siblings down to celebrate with us. One time, I caught my mom giving my father-in-law the look. Mom, gross! That's my dad-in-law. Can you stop thirsting on him for a sec? He's hot! Can you blame me? In the same year, Ava gave me twins. Rose gave me triplets, and Trish bore 2 beautiful baby boys. Suddenly, my beautiful home was not big enough for my budding family, and I was starting to feel homesick. My father-in-law gave us his blessing, and we moved back to my hometown. I was able to buy us a big enough home where our children could all have their own rooms and a massive yard to play in. They were all still babies, but I like to plan ahead. I was pushing 7 babies and 7 strollers down the neighborhood when I heard a voice I thought I'd never hear again. Always been broke, still a broke babysitter. She was talking on her phone, and I was certain she meant me. Bree? It's you, isn't it? Bree sauntered over to me and my babies, clearly judging me for the 7 babies I was pushing along. Yeah, successful, respected, esteemed. It's me. I see you still work for the rich instead of being one of them. I happen to be the very successful assistant to the man who owns that house. She pointed to the house across the street. Oh, Paul? I didn't know Paul had an assistant. It's Mr. Waterford to you! How dare you call him by his first name, you broke babysitter? Excuse me? Who are you calling a broke babysitter? My wives all ganged up on Bree, now unable to take her insults towards me. FYI, these beautiful children are all his babies. And we're his wives. Bree's eyes grew larger and larger with shock, and she finally connected the dots. Yup, Paul's my neighbor. We live in this house. I'm your boss's neighbor. The house I pointed at was the biggest house on the street, and Bree began to panic, thinking that her outburst was about to get her fired. Please, forgive me. I didn't mean anything I said. Please don't say anything to my boss. For old time's sake. We used to be so in love. Do you remember? Please, I can't lose this job. I'll lose my apartment. I took out something that I've been meaning to mail to Bree. It was a work of art that I'd made when I thought of her one night. I unwrapped it to reveal her face. She had horns on her forehead and snakes for hair. Don't worry. I'll make sure to inform your boss of the kind of person you truly are. I smiled at her and turned to push my baby strollers through our mansion's gates. Our wives giggled and I kissed them as Bree stared helplessly at the life she could have had.